clearly, Manwen?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Arun, just have a second. Let me have your brief introduction, and then we can
Okay.
start off.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Alka? Alka, are you there? Can you hear me?
I think still 3 minutes is there, so maybe. But we Japan, we prefer to go in meeting 10 minutes before, so that we can adjust everything on time. And start time, we prefer to, like, suppose meeting time is 6:30, so means it is not a meeting time, it's like a start work time for everyone, and whatever activity you are doing. So if someone is saying that I reach 6:30, or I'm going to start my work 6:30, so it's not correct terminology for Japan. 6:30 means your productive time.
Actually, that was there in our country also, but now it has been changed.
No, yes, but yeah, we are also like correcting ourselves now. Like, this is the process of like learning from each other. So as learning never it should not be a stop. It's always the like ongoing process.
Just a second. So let me connect with Alka, and then we'll start off.
Okay, no issue. So, Mr. Manwen, what is position now in like Odisha side, the COVID current situation there? Now cases are increasing. We also, Japan also now, yesterday case was 8432. Now today is also, so it's going up every day.
Not very good here.
Yeah, because we have like density wise, we are quite high. Even on paper, yes, it is less than China, but actually we are going to crossing China population wise, if we refer correct data.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you asking me or Manvend?
Yeah, Alka, you are audible.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay, sir. It's some technical glitch. Good afternoon, all. We have with us Mr. Arun Kumar Singh to give us insight on environmental sustainability. We welcome you, sir. Let me brief about him. He is a project lead coordinator at Toshiba, Japan. He is a performance-driven PMI, PMP, and Prince2 certified professional offering. Over 16 years of rich experience in project management, project execution, and project planning and controls, with a proven ability to complete EPC, EPCC, LSTK, contracts, renovation, and modernization of power plants, oil and gas, metal and mining, etc., with reputed organizations on time. He involved in multiple initiatives of UN SDGs 2030 and 2050 mission for all 17 interconnected goals in both India and Japan. He served as independent consultant for project, proposal, and contracts management for power, oil, and gas projects. He served as project engineer of electrical and instrumentation and telecom at Kentech Group. He serves as senior project lead engineer of PEM and PCM at Chiyoda Corporation. So please.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Alka, ma'am. So it was nice introduction for my professional point of view. So I just adding some like I can take 5 minutes. In addition to my professional career growth, I involve myself in various activity of SDG, and so here Japan and India also. So recently we are working the key SDG goal, which is the goal number 1, goal 2, and goal 3. So goal number 1 is the end of poverty by 2050. So this is the goal number 1. And then because first 3 goal is quite important for around the world, and so because our one little tiniest step, wherever you are working, like we are in institute, we are in work, or we are at home, so how we are creating a better world, and how we are like consuming our every day in life. Like suppose I'm at home, I'm having food, so what food is required for my body, it is very important. If suppose if I'm not knowing about food, and what is intake, what intake should I have for my body to keep fit, and what less consumption, what should I have. And suppose I'm every day I'm eating 3 times, and my meal is not appropriate. Sometimes I'm thinking that okay, I have to go for work, so this time I my energy is like I'm going to exhaust more, so I should my intake should be more, but this is not the correct way. So it's it should be aligned properly as per your like work, and also like when you were like need more energy, like suppose you are doing some physical activity, so that time your stomach should be empty, and and you should have the proper minerals which is required to like perform your physical activity correctly. So somewhere we have to know ourselves, like in terms of our body, in terms of our mind, in terms of like what we are eating, what we are creating. Like we, we bought lot of things, we eat lot of things, and also we every day we are wasting more. So how we can align this intake versus waste, that this is very important to solve the problem of who is not having enough food. So this is very important. This that is why this like SDG, even 2015, in 2015 they have come up with the all 17 goal, which is interconnected. Like if you are working on one goal, ending of poverty, so how other 16 is aligning with that to achieve goal number 1. So so we as a like ambassador, or even ambassador for SDG, our job is to not only to go and uh, teach about the SDG, what is SDG, what we are doing the activity. Our goal is to how we are influencing to people around us in all section, like at home, work, and even if I'm going to school, my daughter is going to school, so what she is observing, this is very important. If suppose I'm eating more, so she sometimes she will think that, oh, if my dad is following this habit, so she also like because at home whatever you will do, your kids will be like inspire, they will be inspiring themselves, watching you what you are doing. So this is very important. So that is why like our every step, every movement, it is like it is very important to correct our action, and it is a regular process to like watch whether it is aligned properly or not, whether we are moving in right direction, what like we have received in our hand, this is going to meet. So by having policy, mission, everything, it will not work. It first you have to right approach. Yes, I have to start from my home. If I will create good atmosphere at home, and if I adopt all 17 in first at my home, then at least my kid and my wife, they will inspire first, and so then it will become three. So by doing this all regular habit, I'm eating less, and I'm saving some food for other who really required more than me. So SDG mission is this, what I am explained. And all 17 goal is related with the industry, like food industry. So we are going and explaining the SDG mission. And even I'm also like independent ambassador of UN, but yes, I'm full-time working with the Toyota Corporation. So they as a project engineer, so and involved in metal and mining industry. So metal and mining industries, why suddenly metal and mining industry? Every country, especially developed country, they are investing more in southeast country and African region, because these country have more minerals. So now their aim is to get out the all minerals whatever they have. But these countries like Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, African country, they don't know what is like what they are having. Even India also, we have Odisha part, we have more minerals, but we sometimes we chalking out the policy, but we not knowing the how we are going to encash this all what we have in a correct way, by impacting less on environment side. So 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 like but these all like, yes, who rule like whole minerals? Developed country, because their work and their policy, they are a stakeholder of measure, because they are putting more money on environmental side. So of course they will they are major a stakeholder to owing those minerals. So this is also very important to for our country, like how from university side and institute side, how we can like start some basic project during like engineering side, management side, and a small step, how we can like sometimes mentor the local policy, so that because in our side the updation is not going in a right direction, because we like just implementing the policy, but the execution side, updation side, it is not going well. That is why like policy implemented, but no one is watching whether it is going right direction or not, whether it is aligned with the proper norms and we are achieving or not. But sometimes like if someone is coming to check the all parameter whether it is aligning or contractually or it achieved or not. So in that side, execution side, sometimes we just fulfilling the paperwork, but ultimately it was not achieved. So we have to have our right intention towards environmental side, because if there is no environment, no one will our existence will be finished, and we have very less time. First stage is 2030, second stage is 2050, and it's a quite tough challenge to achieve the carbon neutrality, zero carbon by 2050. And COP26 also, they emphasizes on this. It is quite tough. So we have to now think more about environment, because if there is no environment, nothing will be on earth. So so this is like yes, brief about like my other association apart from my work, and how I impacting my industry, in my day-to-day activity, even I'm suppose I'm working as a project engineer or project manager, my job is my job limitation to handle my project only, which are defined correctly. But sometimes projects, they incorporate everything which are required, but who is reviewing the whole project towards environmental side? Because uh, everyone is working their work, and even environmental engineering, they are worried for yeah, this is defined, so how we are whether it is implemented or not. But who is every day watching? Like suppose I'm working, and how many pages I taken out, print out. So every step is like we can like say means we can save our environment. So sometimes if not required printing, sometimes it not required many documentation, so we should avoid, because your one step and an impact would be very high on environmental side. So this is very important towards environmental sustainability. So let me like go with my current work, what I uh, did for my current project, because recently I joined here 3 months back, and this is metal industry, which is like going in South Indonesia part. This is Myanmar smelter project. So basically now engineering phase is started. So basic engineering is going, and then after detail engineering, and then product ordering, and after that and in parallel the construction activity, civil activities is started. So each step there is an impact on environment. Suppose I am doing design, so whether my design is correctly with uh, aligned with environmental norms or not. Yeah, if it is aligned correctly, then I will buy product accordingly. If my product is not aligned with norms, so ultimately I'm not going to meet my norms when like project comes in operation side. So and also like the huge impact will come to the company. Suppose I during engineering or manufacturing or the ordering stage, if I bypass some norms, and I thought that yes, it is still we are safer zone. But tomorrow if policy is coming more stringent, and you have not considered that tolerance in your design, so there would be huge impact from the licensor who supplied that project. So being a engineer, our the like goal is to how we are teaching our surrounded engineer, and explaining the what is the importance of environment in your work day to day. So apart from my job, I always I go into the other side and try to explain other team that how we can create a good atmosphere during our work, and so that we can create less waste uh, when the project is going to implement at site. So this is the whole scope of my work and after work. So now I will move to particular slides just to explain you my work, last 3 month work which I did. So this is a project name where I am currently associated. The project name is Manya Smelter Project. So this project is financed by American company PTFI, and the major stakeholder of this project is US. So they are setting up this copper smelter project, and this is the world for this license, a first time smelter project. I think after China, this is the like equally biggest project. So one is China, and this is US. So why copper we need more nowadays? The question is, so because now everyone jumping into copper business and mining business, because the application is EV, because one side we are creating carbon, another side we are trying to reducing carbon. So we need to see like whether what is the gap between like our in the coming industry and what we like how we are going to like meet the carbon neutrality. So this is very important. So that is why I initially I mentioned that it's very tough to meet 2020-50 carbon neutrality goal. But if we'll not say very tough, we'll not achieve even like 70% of goal. So that is why we are using very tough. And yes, it is very tough to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. But yes, we will put our best in all front, and then we'll try to meet 2020-50 goal carbon neutrality. So so I'm just taking one explanation my work. So this project was awarded to Cioda by PTFI company in January, and Cioda is a EPC company who is setting up this project from engine like feasibility study, feed stage to like handing over to operation. So ultimately this project will be operated by PTFI company, and they will they are creating three product up from this project. One is a copper finish product. Another product is acid means because whatever the waste is coming, so we are having we have the refinery unit, which the output product is the sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid is also is a finished product. And third product is refinery. We have refinery, so metal refinery. So what that when you are doing the process and getting the product final product copper, so waste slag is coming, so that slag is going to use in the cement industry. So 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 all product waste and what we have put the raw material. So what is the we are trying to optimize the complete product efficiency of that project, so that we create less waste towards our environment, and we can and we should consume everything in our work or other projects. So but what is the gap? Because to producing copper itself, you are creating more carbon. Why? Because you are putting ore, iron ores and copper ores, and there are many other ores, and then you are converting you are converting those ore into molten liquid, and then it's you are sending to refine it. So during the whole process, you are emitting more carbon and carbon, CO2, NOx, and SOx, which is called greenhouse gas also. So being like environment side, the policy maker, regulatory, and the local authority, the job is to define correct the norms, and the EPA and the other international agency, they used to monitor that norms time to time, and sometimes because in future they will put the more stringent conditions. So this project is going to finish in 2024, and maybe if before 24, if any stringent condition is coming, so whether that to capture those norms in our current design and our product, whether we have incorporated correctly in our design or not. So that tolerance is very important. So once you are increasing tolerance, so it means you have to investing more, and you because everything is cost. Some company they follow like minimum tolerance for which they can meet only the project requirement till their responsibility. But some big company like Chiyoda is the biggest EPC company here in Japan, and they are doing all oil and gas, energy, metal mining, chemical. So such a big company, they incline towards environment, because Japan, they are very serious about the all environmental sustainability action and the SDG goals. So they assign some positive fund to each project to meet their overall environmental requirements and the future condition like SDG goal. So they incorporate such initiative in their ongoing project also. So being a engineer, being a project manager, being a like even you are working as a office assistant, so all like team they are contributing, contributing to meet those norms what is well defined in our uh, policy and the project. So action is very important. So this is like I just giving background. So environment monitoring plan is the technique, no non-technique effort prevent overcome to the negative impact and the increased with extended positive impact activity. So this activity, like since project we have already started in Indonesia. So during construction, what we are checking and what we are doing. So our action is also should be monitored every month, every quarter, and then every 6 months. So that is very important. Who is like responsible at site? Suppose I'm designing everything correctly, I'm buying product correct, everything correct, and like construction team, whether they are working correctly or not at site, because they also creating waste at site, which is ultimately impacting the environment. So so all a stage of like project is always like environment, as an environmental engineer or as a project manager or like project stakeholder, it's very important to check the parameter at every stage. So here in this project, we like we categorize the uh, to check environment action like UKL, UPL. This terminology is basically the management, and UKL is the management, and UPL is the monitoring uh, body, which they are checking everything at site, yeah, whether it is achieving or not, whatever we have defined in regulation. So and so and this is the whole process. We so like this is the
Arun,
monitor environmentally.
can you make it full screen?
Okay. We prefer to use like always the team meeting. So Zoom, because in Japan they are very restrict to use which software you have to use. So here Zoom is sometimes it is not advisable, but I have connected because Manvend, he told me to there is some technical issue to connect team. So now it's fine,
Now it's
Manvend?
perfect.
Okay. So we divided our action, like this is the management body, UKL and UPL, who is responsible to manage activity and monitoring, whether it is like going to achieve or not. So from Yoda side, we are responsible to like coordinate with management body for to achieving this guarantee figure at site. So let's say I'm just taking one example. Since construction has already started, so the activity first is the decreasing of air quality. The TSP means total suspended particle of emissions. So since these activities, these are all are the activity where we are contributing. So let's say air quality, how it is going to impact, because during construction we are doing some civil work, piling work, and others, and we creating the dust. So dust ultimately is going to environment. So total suspended particle is impacted. So these are the function where we have categorized: increasing the noise, and then hazardous waste, domestic wastewater. So so these body UKL, UPL, they are the responsible to check at site every month, every quarter, whether the site team, they have incorporated their action correctly or not. So these are activity we are following. So there are like and this all activity sometimes these based on current norms, I categorize. There are, let's say, six category. But tomorrow, if any stringent condition is coming in southeast country, and where it is we need to achieve those parameter also, so we need to like incorporate those policy also during project execution phase. So so this is like my role to, as a project manager, to check whether all emission parameter is defined in contract correctly or not, and if it is defined, then whether it is we have the enough tolerance in our design to accept the future risk contingency, especially from environmental impact side. So from our little action that we are like impacting to like environment. So being a professional, my job is to watch all the function, even my like day-to-day work, and the overall complete norms, and to convey correctly to these management team, whether it is possible or not. So these are the function we are doing. So any questions so far, Manwen, from audience side? Or what is like if you have any like you want to know a particular thing of like industry side, or like corporate side, how like what should be the function of corporate in more better way to accept those challenges, even it is tough, but how we can align our action more appropriately, so that we can uh, like we should achieve. So
As of now,
if
there's
any
no question.
questions so far.
As
Okay.
of now, there's no question. Only one question is there, like
Yeah.
how you guys arrange the money for your projects, etc.
Okay. So this is this is a basic question for audience. Like, see, as I mentioned that the first of all, like, what is the use of that particular project, and how we are going to invest uh, in that project, and who is the ultimately benefit of that project. So this all related with the like it is so I'm just taking one case for this project. For this case, Myanmar smelter project, the copper biggest like output is the finished product, and this ultimately this finished copper where is going to use electrical vehicle. And who has put the more money in electrical vehicle? Of course, Elon Musk, because uh, he is the main stakeholder of electrical vehicle in current scenario. So these that is why I inform you that all money nowadays in EV business developing countries putting. So like US, for this project, like US has the put money because they are the ultimate stakeholder of the, and they from where they are getting like money. So all like first of all, that their institute, they're making the policy aligning with the some university, and then that policy is going to implement by government body, and government once policy is made, the government body and the authority, they are checking whether yes, this policy is correctly aligned with environmental recent environment norms or not. So once like those stages are finished, so that policy is like conveyed to the all financing body, banking, and the all, because ultimately the project finance comes from banking side, and in bank they can they are financing to particular projects. So for this project, like all Japanese banking like MUFG, SoftBank, so they are putting money in this project, and backside money is coming from US, because the who is a stakeholder of this project, US. So they are cascading money to this project. Yes. Any clarification?
No,
Yes.
please go ahead. Please go ahead, Arun.
Yeah. Okay.
We do have certain questions. We will
Okay.
ask you in the end.
Mhm. So aspect is now I've come to the point aspect. So hazardous waste generation and construction waste generation, oil contamination, water waste. So how we are impacting by doing this project? So the first our environment is like we have earth, water, and the atmosphere. So atmosphere side air, and the earth side land, and the water side oceans and groundwater. So by doing this project, we are creating some hazardous waste and the construction waste, oil, and we are contaminating water, ocean water, ocean species. So waste, and we are generating some hazardous chemical, which ultimately is going to like waste to ocean. So that also like uh, is we are capturing here, and then we are taking the correct action with the UKL UPL body, and ultimate stakeholder, the company who is running this project after handing over from CODA to PTFI. So during operation also, these all parameters should be assigned correctly, and after starting operation, we need to go for checking the each principal equipment, whether whether it is what we have supplied, what we have designed, whether it we ultimately whether it has achieved the guarantee or not at site. So if suppose some product is not achieving the guarantee, so that project from project point of view, it is not like achieve the ultimate goal of that project. So we can consider a project is not project not achieved the goal of environmental impact. So so all the company, EPC company, sponsored local authority, they are equally responsible to make project successful at the end of like construction. And then after operation, this is the operation side to check everything and to follow the standard SOP procedure to run plant and equipment, and to achieve the finished product by achieving less impact to environment. So I just finished. Yes, Manvin. So can we have some one like remaining hour for like interactive session with the audience, or shall I cover some other topic related
actually,
with some?
I do have certain questions related to
Okay.
the screen which you are sharing at this point of time.
Okay.
Uh,
Yes.
because in environmental sustainability, as you have mentioned, all these points, be it is wastewater generation, solid waste, or decreasing air quality, noise, or etc.
Mm,
At every
mhm.
point of time, if we go by the GRI guidelines uh,
Yes, of course.
for environmental sustainability, we have around 8 different specific uh, materials which are there, out of which 32 specific disclosures are there. So as you are
Mhm.
mentioning all these aspects related to your company, so
Mhm.
the question which pointing me out is that we have three scopes: scope 1, scope 2, and
Okay.
scope 3. And
Okay.
usually you are a very big company,
Mhm.
so scope 3 is something where we are talking about like how your suppliers, and it's a construction
Mhm.
company, so you have a number of
Yes.
suppliers in your business
Of course.
for the raw material and for finished good,
Mm.
etc. So do you guys really consider the scope 3 aspect in your business when you are talking about the sustainability or sustainability reporting per se?
Mhm. Mhm. So, have you finished?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Manven, this is very right question you have raised during this session. Yeah. So that is why initially I explained that how project generally is like all a stakeholder start. So basically we go for first feasibility study before starting the project or before awarding the project by uh, client. We go for feasibility study whether like all defined parameters by UN or like EPA or the IFS, these like, because they are the like policy maker who is chalking out the policy for environment, and they are putting the condition, emission, effluent, and the other uh, solid waste condition. So that policy when comes to the like local government side and authority side, so they sometimes they check whether this policy, international policy, is applicable to particular that region or not. So they because they also have their local policy. Like suppose I'm working for this project Indonesia, and the international policy for this project is IFS. And the IFS is the international financing institute who is like responsible whether like suppose I'm a bank, I'm a like I have money. So and I have money, and I have to use this money to particular project who is like aligning with the environmental norms and to achieve the current goal of emission and effluent. So 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 local authority once they go through that IFS policy, so they also sometimes they guide to the main body, like particular this area, since there are the other aspect, it is not considered. So they also like they influence they influence to the main body. Some condition, it is like you have not considered like uh, incorrect way, so they put some like more stringent condition uh, based on their local side and the community side. So it doesn't like you cannot say that like if policy main body they have put, so it cannot be cannot be updated after some time. So once like local and the main body align their norms correctly, uh, especially for related with the emission, effluent, and the solid waste. So 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 that policy is like well defined. and that policy, that particular country, they circulate that policy to their all institution, agency, and a bank. So suppose this project is going to set up in Indonesia side, and money is coming from US side. So because US is putting their money to use this copper in their business, like Finnish EV business. So and so related to metal mining industry, what norms we should follow? So that norms is it comes in like contract stage, because and the regularity and the all policy maker, they whatever they have defined the norms, so whether they have incorporated in contract correctly or not. So once this policy is like implemented in contract side, so execution side, like suppose EPC company, they also like check, yes, whether it can be achieved from like as a company wide company side or not. So it is a like whole process of like checking and updating. So from our CODA side also, we sometimes we are suggesting to our operation company and like local authority, a stakeholder, there are they we have to some consider some tolerance also, because maybe future is a very tough to meet the all emission norms. So sometimes we are advocating to customer, sometimes we are advocating to local authority, that we have to some consider some positive side tolerance also, and for that like budget is not defined correctly, so we should allocate some additional contingency for environmental norms. So nowadays, like yes, it is a early like if you can consider 10 years before, so this environmental budget is generally it doesn't define in any project. So we consider just we have to achieve the operational side parameters, guarantee parameters, output, but environmental norms, all emission, there was no any guarantee. So nowadays, like to meet the carbon neutrality, it is a every project in around the world is emission effluent, and the solid waste is coming in the project side, and it is well defined in contract. So budget also allocation is being managed through the stakeholder.
I have a question.
Yes.
Right. So from your slides, you have mentioned that about air quality, right?
Yes.
And being it is a construction industry, it is kind of focusing on dust. And I'm pretty sure that in industry like construction, there will be pretty emission of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, and sulfur dioxide,
Yeah,
and so
correct.
on, or even particulate matter
Yes,
2.5
yes.
and
Yes,
5, right?
correct.
So what are the strategies that your company takes
Yes.
to reduce these
Yeah.
emissions?
So yeah, thank you for asking this question. So I just taking one example for especially for this project. So like how we are going to consider those aspects during design. So like during design, all discipline engineers, suppose like mechanical process and chemical, in mechanical also there are piping, rotary, there all, but they are taking care the all discipline side, and who is taking care the environmental side? So there is a like one team, EDC, like environmental design criteria, where they the responsibility is being taken care by that EDC team, who is taking care the whether during like our design of particular equipment, whether this particular defined parameter is incorporated correctly in a specification or not. So if suppose discipline engineer miss those parameters to define in their specification or inquiry specification, so it is going to supplier side. So they cannot consider the particular special condition to meet the current air emission parameter. Let's say like current sulfur dioxide 200 mg NMQ. So, and NOx parameter 90 mg NFQ. So for that particular, if someone has missed discipline, the responsibility is the EDC, because EDC ultimately it will pass to the EDC team, environmental design criteria. So we are filtering the all mistake in even design stage. So someone has missed, the EDC team is the responsibility to incorporate the all environmental norms correctly in a specification. So after a specification reaching to the supplier side, so they are designing the equipment as per the defined parameter. So that is why nowadays like project cost is like increasing to meet the carbon neutrality, because earlier like our equipment is not well defined to meet those year emission parameters. And so nowadays like we are supplying efficient like a smelter, because particular for this project we are supplying this is first time a smelter who is creating less sulfur and less nitrous oxide to emission to meet that current norms of emission.
Thank you for your response, sir.
And if you have time, then I can show some document, what EDC document like we follow for such a big project, because this project, you know, the project cost is $2.7 billion project, and the period is 42 months. So we are is now in PM 14 months. So there are so we like just we cross 30% stage like basic engineering phase. So basic engineering phase, we defined the all emission norms parameter correctly in our specification, and then detail engineering is like once like we finalize the particular equipment and we achieve the PO. So once product is finished, and during manufacturing process is also like that, manufacturer also they have to adopt the correct manufacturing facility to reduce like carbon at their manufacturing site. So however, it is not related with the my product, but ultimately it is all correlated with the like to meet the environmental mission. So let me show some other slide so that you can understand the what is EDC. Are you able to see my this screen?
Yes.
One minute. Yeah. So say, let's say this is the Green Co-op company. He's a consultant for this project, means the smelter project. So
Actually,
they are aligning with, yeah.
The screen is not visible, sir. World
Yeah.
screen is there.
actually your all PPTs are here.
Oh, let me. It's fine now.
It's just trying to come. Yeah, now it is available. Yeah,
Yeah.
visible.
No, okay. Yeah. So this is the EDC document, which is aligning with the all like EPC company, stakeholder, and the environmental consultant. So consultant is the green co-op, which is they are define the parameters in this document. So so that is like, see, project is ongoing, but this document is still draft. Why it is draft? Because this is not the one time document. We can fix the like okay, all parameters defined, because it's a continuous approach to update parameter. Suppose tomorrow local the policy is going to change, government change, so new more stringent condition is coming. So that also like it should be implemented in EDC document. Suppose engineering at stage cross, manufacturing at stage cross, and then product reach to site, and then it install at site. So before commissioning or operation, how we can reduce like some what other function we can incorporate in our product to reduce the emission. So that also like should be supplied along with the main project scope. So this is the one of the document, environmental design criteria of the smelter project. So this is with this document there we create like one team in our organization, EDC team, who like suppose, and this is not like a different team. It is like we can take from like electrical side, mechanical side, piping side, and we can make one team EDC, and then overall we can put some person who is really aware about the environmental and ESG function, and who is checking and who is coordinating with the all like respective team, regularity and the authority, and the subject matter expert consultant. So they are coordinating every day, or like having a quarterly based meeting related with EDC if any like parameters going to revise. So that also like it should be cascaded to the design side. So this is the complete ongoing process and continuous process. So I just am showing these as per your question. There are these parameter we are defining, and we are updating continuously. So and the like bodies like the industry specific guideline, industry specific process A and process B. So these are the function we have created in this document. And here if you see the all like emergency operation, MOE, Minister of Environment Regulation, the all like policy, local and IFS, international policy, we have incorporated in this document, aligning with the like air emission and the effluent and the solid waste. So and also we are having the continuous meeting with the all project stakeholder to monitoring the activity during design phase, manufacturing stage phase, and then implementing a stage. Like implementing a stage right now, civil activity is going. So we are impacting less air emission. Only we are creating dust, but we are not creating emission. So we generating the some waste, like during piling operation we are using some tools, and we creating waste. So that waste is properly it is going to discharge the allocated location or not. So so these are like all stage we are monitoring and we are checking. So and emission wise, like once the project is erected and is going in commissioning stage and operation stage, so that emission whether the as per defined product, whether we are achieving or not. So that as I explained, the UPL body, they are responsible to check the all management and the monitoring function locally at site. Like say this is the parameters. So we are comparing the all parameter. Let's say this is the IFSC and WHO norms, which is like defined 500 for sulfur dioxide, and the design basis 500, but to 2020 and design basis we consider 5. So if all are same, then we have to consider 500. If something is defined less than this, so we have to consider less one, because ultimately we have to consider the very stringent condition so that we can our impact to environment should be less. So all parameter you will find here, and which is ultimately incorporated in design side and the product side and ultimately operation side, once like project is started to producing the finished product copper and acid. Yes. So can I go more on EDC, or is fine to understand the EDC document?
That's fine with the EDC document.
Yeah.
Like as you have been talking about all the criteria which are there in your documents, which you have to
Yeah.
abide as a company.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So my question is, like, because you are a US sponsored project, so when we used to talk about this reporting practice, so
Yeah.
definitely I would say that you guys will be following SASB guidelines and etc.
No, see, like see, reporting process is like it depends on like the project to project, because suppose I am doing a mining project, so I have to consider like some policy. It is not and general function of the project communication, like it is not like completely ESG, because ESG is the totally different, where like it is related with the financing, social and governing body. And but here like governing body is like the where project is going to implement, and who is the responsible to run this and who is going to use the finished product, and who is operating this product. So our limitation is basically is going to finish till uh, uh, commissioning stage. Once like commissioning stage is reached in the operation side, so the responsibility is the like US company who is operating. And so and they will call us for witnessing the guarantee parameter which is defined in the this all EDC document, and accordingly we have supplied the product. And after operation, achieving a stable operation, they call us for to witnessing the guarantee parameter. And during guarantee parameter, the customer they invite like IFSC body, local authority, environmental team, so they witness the all. And if the parameter is in line with the design, so that is like they accept this project as a like environmental friendly. So if project is some needs some like additional some equipment, if not meeting the guarantee, and so that also like it depends on the project sponsor and finance, because our limitation is to finish our job as per the defined parameter. And if further operation side, if any needs some like some additional system to achieve the other like aspect of the environment which are not defined in our document, so that is not the responsibility of Chiyoda side, EPC side.
Arun,
So the
like
money.
I just wanted to know, this company is listed, it's a listed company?
Yeah, this is the one of the biggest company in EPC industry. If this project, let's see, 2.7 billion USD this project cost with EPC, the Chiyoda. And the overall, if you consider the other EPC company, because Chiyoda is like supplying the smelter project, and other company, there are the oxygen plant, there is a power plant. The power plant like 300 megawatt. The other EPC company there. So if you consider the whole like integration of this project, so this project is a 5 billion project for customer to produce the copper, 1.7 million ton per annum.
Exactly. I just wanted to know because as you are the leading company in Japan, and Japan do have a very stringent environmental regulations.
Yes.
While doing my research, I've gone through that.
Yes, like this is like it's so like case to case, we are like doing this. But suppose this project is a smelter project, other project like Chioda, we are doing NFE project like oil and gas with Qatar Petroleum. So that is like that project is like four USD billion project. So in that project, we are incorporating the complete environmental function, like financing function, and the local community, like how we are going to like impacting. So that complete, so it depends on the like project condition. Sometimes like Chiyoda is bagging this project like complete EPC basis and built on operation side. So in that project, that like we are incorporating the all ESG function, like we are investing in that country, and then we are building that project, and then we are running. So in that type of project, we are incorporating the complete ESG function. So yes, we have that, the monitoring, like how we are like following that monitoring function of ESG. So if you give me opportunity, I will share some like related with the Japan side, like how they are going to like consider the ESG projects as a complete EPC and a BOT basis project. So like EPC, this project is a EPC basis. Our job is finish like construction. Once we'll finish the mechanical completion, and then we are handing over to customer the other function, because customer, they are operating and they are in like selling the finished product to like where the copper is going to use. But in EPC BOT case, that complete ESG function we implement. But since that is not my zone, but I can talk on that part. My zone is related to the project side, so I used to take care of the what it is defined in project.
True, true, true.
And
Actually,
yeah.
because we guys are management from the management side. So when you are talking about all these parameters, maybe a bit like terrifying to all of us. But the thing which I just wanted to know is that it is one of the
Yeah.
leading company, and it is a listed company. So
Yes,
is it?
yes, of course.
It is
Yeah.
listed in Nikki or?
Yeah. Yes.
So okay.
Yes.
So if it is like
Yeah.
listed in Nikki index, and then there, like how is it really mandatory to publish your sustainability reports or ESG reports or like that?
Of course, and it's not only the annual. It's a here like Japan, every quarter you have to publish your like as per ESG defined protocol. You have to submitting the report or not. So that I just want to let me share some like how Japan company, EPC company, not only EPC, all company, how they are reporting ESG function related documentation. So that let me just share some
Yeah, that will be
other
more yeah, it will be
document.
really informative for us too.
Yes. Yeah, Manvind, are you able to see this screen?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So this is like a ESG report, what that GPIF body, like they are reporting, and they are implementing this to all industry in Japan. So I just wanted to show this document with you.
So, sorry to interrupt you, sir. So, it could be the separate one, or it could be the part of annual report what we have normally with Indian companies.
Yeah, this is the annual report, but the here in Japan, that in addition to annual report, we all like EPC company, they are following the every quarter and the monthly, and also so that the monthly is like company to company depends, but the every quarter is mandatory here.
No, because like in India we have that is one part of the annual report. So maybe in future they may come like this.
Here Japan, they are more like
Mhm.
serious about to meet this all
Yes.
UN mission.
Mhm.
So here, like company, it depends on company to company. But here, Japan, like if one like a company is following, this is applicable to all industry, not only that they will
Okay.
not submit the report
Okay. Thank
quarterly
you, sir.
basis. Yeah. So it is like, is it just I'm giving the like how Japan they are. So it is a annual report, but the same template we are using to furnishing the every quarterly report for ESG. So such project like ESG, where ESG reporting we follow. So like from EPC side, like where in suppose in Qatar Petroleum we have more scope, like we are building that project, and then we are operating that project, and then we are selling some oil to for like user. So that project, like having the complete function of ESG, not only Japan as well as Qatar country also, based on the local regularity and ESG annual report. So company wise, like yes, Japan, like industry wise, we have the common ESG, and it is implemented to all industry. So like my industry is the EPC, so we are the designer side and the supplier side and construction side, and the product side the same reporting. Suppose someone is manufacturing semiconductor, so that the reporting side is a common. So they have to just incorporate their product and the applicable services in that report. So yes, this is Japan, like Japan side, it is every quarter, and the company side is like monthly. There is a team, ESG team, who is responsible to checking their all work like monthly basis, and they are updating the all reporting a quarterly basis, and every 6 months, and then ultimately an annual report. It's annual report.
So with your permission, I would like to ask a question.
Yeah.
So you have mentioned about the supply side, right? I would like to know about people side measures that you're taking. For example, diversity and inclusion, employee engagement, or maybe human rights, business ethics, and so on. Right.
So basically, it is a question related with the corporate social responsibility. So every project, like yes, this is the one of the function where like that CSR team, they are following that activity. Suppose in this, let me take this same project, Manyamar project. So there is a team, corporate CSR team, who is taking care the not it is, yes, it is not related with that our scope, but ultimately we are impacting the local community and our surrounding society by doing such project. And uh, suppose like the project always needs like more rehabilitation of manpower, so CSR team, uh, they are responsible to communicate with the local stakeholder, and how they are rehabilitating the local people to the proper community area. So that yes, this is the like quite not new. So all now industry, they are having like CSR team, and the human rights related with the all, it is comes under the HR function. So it is already there. And the Japan is they are they not define only the policy, they are very serious about to implement and the monitoring as well. If any like human right violation or any like harassment is there, so they take a very serious action, not only the company side, even it is related with the local community where the project is going to implement.
Thank you for your response, sir.
Do the participants have any question to the expert?
Sir, this is Raghavendra.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, you were saying that you will be sharing the document related to the EPC cum BOT.
BOT. Oh, BOT. No. I just mentioned that we suppose I just taken care of one project that where our scope is defined till construction completion, and there is another project like where we are doing the project like not only construction is the BOT project is the build, operate and operate. So BOT like the another function because we are responsible to operate that particular plant, and then we are generating the finished product. So in that project, ESG is implemented. So that project is not taken care by me. So, but I can share that ESG report, like how we are reporting the complete function of that project. So like because ESG is environmental, social, and governance. So governance is always comes in the policy side, who the policy maker and the who is taking care of the management and monitoring action. So let's say that that project is related to the oil and gas, and that project is going to start in Qatar. So the government side, the Qatar, and the built operation like Japan is doing. So we are meeting two ESG report. One is the Qatar defined ESG report. So that report, what they are, Qatar is defining the ESG, because ESG is the common for every country, but it depends on the what they have considered the key factor in their reporting. So we have to take care that as well, in addition to the our local ESG reporting here in Japan, related to only that this company, Chiyoda.
Will you please share the document, sir? On the screen.
Yeah.
On the screen at least.
So this is a brief about the annual report.
Sorry.
Yeah. So if you are talking about that project function, so like here, like environment, how like the complete BOT project works. So here, like that governance body also included in that like our business. So they are the equally a stakeholder of that project, because our job is to till BOT, but the policy maker, policy changing, implementing, and then the monitoring and managing, their action is involved. So BOT, in BOT project we generally follow the ESG function, but in current project, the EPC basis, we like we are not taking care of the governance body, because governance body is taken care by the operation side. And also in ESG side, we are incorporating the all such the SDG goals industry wise. So suppose like let's say I'm doing the mining project, so the goal number, so related to my industry, so which goal is defined, so I have to take care in my project. Suppose the other project, it is related with the energy, so I have to define the correct goal and the mission of that goal in ESG reporting. So it is related with the industry to industry, but yes, the reporting is common for all industry.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Manmen, do you have any question by audience?
Audience have any question? Okay, so there's a kind request to all the participants and our speaker also, that please turn on your camera for a minute or two.
Can stop sharing the screen.
Okay.
Uh,
We can see ours.
So if please turn on your cameras for a minute or two.